All right, everybody. Well, hey, our next guest, you're going to love. Trust me, you're going to give a damn about this show because she is the host of The Art of Giving a Damn, the one, the only Michelle Shaeffer joining us. Hey, what is going on? Welcome to International Podcast Day.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So for those that don't know Michelle, this is definitely one you want to pay some attention to for like the rest of us out here. But Michelle is the creator of Lingo Dynamics and the Hook Line Dynamic app. She's passionate about helping mission-driven entrepreneurs build successful businesses that make a positive difference in the world. She has written 42 blog posts in a single day. Wow, that's a big case of blog writing right there. Mentored more than 15,000 bloggers through the Ultimate Blog Challenge and Extreme Traffic Adventure. Published 1,000+ posts on her own blogs and made just about every blogging mistake possible and shares them so you don't have to. A typical day in Michelle's life includes a whole lot of coffee, obsessive blogging, and content creation, coaching fabulous entrepreneurs, working behind the scenes to support her awesome clients, their blogging and marketing, and sneaking a little bit of sci-fi in there somewhere. So without further ado, beam us up, Michelle, all right?
Thank you for the intro, Scott.
No problem. Well, like I said, I'm enjoying the show. I've been listening to episodes, really enjoying it. I know a lot of people that are watching out there, whether you're watching on Facebook Live or you're listening on the replay of this, you're listening live or watching live, definitely want to take a look at the show, The Art of Giving a Damn. So, Michelle, talk a little about the show and how'd you come to the name, The Art of Giving a Damn?
Sure. So, I started my business back in 2000, and over the years, one of the things that has frustrated me more than anything else was people telling me, you care too much. You need to just worry about the bottom line numbers. And there's this whole idea that you can't build a successful business if you care too much about the results your clients get or about the way you approach your marketing and advertising. And I got so tired of hearing that conversation and hearing people come to me as clients saying, but I don't think I can succeed if I do what I really want to do. I don't know how to build a business around it, because I really believe the things we're passionate about and we care about are what we should be building businesses around. So I started my show that's kind of as a way to prove by interviewing people who were successful at some really interesting business concepts that you can build a profitable business and still care about the difference you make.
That's so huge. I think that's a lot of people talk about that. You throw too much emotions into it in finding success, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you hear from so many people that you have to sacrifice certain things if you want to succeed in business. And I don't believe that you do. I believe you can have a business that is profitable without sacrificing the environment or your own values or whatever it is that you care about.
So blogging, talk about how, man, you're a serious blogger, typing or writing. I hope it's all typing or maybe even just saying it and it's recording it, because that's a lot of blogs, knock some stuff out there. It's awesome.
Yeah, so I accidentally started a blog back in 2008. So I've been out.
Wait a second, hang on a second. Accidentally started a blog? I never heard that. Come on now.
So I found myself answering the same questions for clients over and over and over. And I was like, there's got to be an easier way than typing this out every time somebody asks me. So I was working with a VA at the time, and I'm like, what's the quickest way to put something on the internet so that I can send links to it? And they're like, well, there's this thing called WordPress. Maybe we can try that. I had no idea what blogging was really at that time. And so I just started sending, when I would type out an answer to somebody's question about marketing or whatever it was, I would send it to my VA and be like, put this on that site you set up. And he'd publish it. And then when somebody else asked the same question, I could just send them the link. So it was great. It was saving me time. And then I started getting emails from people and comments on this thing. And they're like, can I work with you? How do I hire you? I'm like, what did I do here? And it turned out because I was answering questions, people were searching for those questions in Google. They were finding my blog and then getting in touch with me. I was like, oh, wow, if this works accidentally, let me figure this out. And it's been one of the key things that's grown my business since then. But it was a good accident.
That's good stuff. Chef William Chaney's is The Art of Giving a Damn. It's some of the greatest interviews. I love her show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So what's been the biggest aha nugget? Have you seen a lot of that transition over from the blog to the podcast or vice versa? What have you learned from the two more so?
So that's a really great question because, one of the reasons I started the podcast was I was seeing the blog environment get so competitive. There's so many blogs out there now, and I was still getting traffic, but I was having a more difficult time with clients who were new, who didn't have that head start that I had. And so I'm one of those, let me keep trying things, see what's working so that I can show clients what's working right now. And Steve Olsher actually is the one who said, start a podcast, it'll be worth it. I was like, okay, I trust you. Let's go do it. And I think the most interesting thing for me has been watching the difference in connection that I have with people, because I do audio and video. And the comments that I get from people are like, we see it when you interview your guests. We see the emotion and the excitement and the passion for what they do. And that's been really cool, just to see the different level of connection that you get with people.
Yeah, we've been doing videos with our podcast from the beginning, and it doubled our audience almost immediately.
Oh yeah, I can't believe how many more people watch on my YouTube channel than do through my audio downloads. That was mind blowing for me to see. It's really cool.
What are some of the mistakes you see new bloggers and entrepreneurs making through podcasts that you would give them advice to help overcome those mistakes?
Sure. So I think the biggest mistakes that I see when it comes to any kind of content marketing, because podcasting, video on YouTube, blogging, it's all content marketing, right? I think the biggest mistake I see people make is, number one, thinking they don't have anything to share. So not starting because they don't think there's somebody out there who wants to hear their thoughts and their conversation. And that's been one of the most validating things for me about doing a podcast is it's not just me. There's lots of people out there who want to see those success stories from entrepreneurs that are building maybe a little bit different style of business. And I think a lot of times we don't start the blog, or we don't start the podcast, or we don't put the videos out there because we don't think somebody wants to hear us. And there are people waiting to hear your voice, whatever it is you're passionate about and want to share. So that's number one, not starting, not realizing there are people waiting for you. Number two would be a perspective thing of going at it from the approach of here's what I want to share versus what does my audience want to hear? What do they need to hear from me? What are they interested in? And if we can shift that just a little bit and really focus in on what's in it for the audience, it makes a huge difference in how fast you find your community. So those are the things that I would start with.
So maybe polling your audience or asking them what they want to hear, and then designing your content to fulfill those needs, kind of like your FAQs did for your audience, right?
Absolutely. And there's so many conversations going on out there that it's actually pretty easy to go to sites like Quora or Facebook groups or all these different places and see what are people asking around my topic that I can speak to and share with them.
Versus regurgitating. I'm sorry, what was that, Michelle?
I just said, so even if you don't have an audience yet, because some people are like, well, I don't have anybody to poll, you don't need them. Just go look at what the conversation is online and figure out how to put yourself in it.
And making it your own versus regurgitating what somebody else has already done, right?
Absolutely. I think that's another mistake that a lot of people make, whether it's with podcasting or blogging, is not telling their own stories enough, not realizing that part of what's most valuable about us is our unique perspective, the journey we've been through in life that other people can relate to. Sometimes when I share my story and I go into a lot of the things that have come up in my own journey, people are like, oh, wow, we had no idea. And I realized that if I just focus on the how-tos and the tactics and the strategies, I'm leaving out the part of it which is really the most inspirational and motivating for people, which is if I can do this, they can totally do it. So really bringing in our own stories and perspectives is huge.
What's been the biggest nugget that you've taken away from one of your guests or listeners about your show that's helped you expand your audience or help you expand your message?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing that a guest has said to me that was literally like mind-blowing impact was Mitch Carson I had on my show, and he said the price of perfection is bankruptcy. I'm sorry, Mitch Russo. He said the price of perfection is bankruptcy, and I went, oh my God, that is huge, because we look at it, we're like, we want to get it perfect, and we don't think about what it really costs us, and it really is bankruptcy for a business if you're so focused on getting everything right instead of just getting it out there.
And we got Mitch on later today too. That's good. Good stuff there. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see your show going in the next 12 months?
Oh, that's a great question. That's one that I've actually been looking a lot at. Where do I really want to take this? Because I think one of the other things that's been amazing to me about starting the podcast is not just the audience that wants to listen, but the people that I have the opportunity to talk with and really learn from. And so part of what I'm looking at for 2019 is really reaching out to my community and getting them more involved in who do you guys want to see on the show? What questions do you want me to ask them? And really using it as a way to find out those things that that we're really curious about, how do people get their business started? Or how do they keep it going? How do they stay inspired? All of those questions, having the opportunity to ask them of even more people. And really, one thing that's going to be fun for me in 2019 is looking at taking it to the next level with everything from monetization to how it builds into my business more, and all of those pieces strategically as well.
That's good stuff. What's your big sci-fi genre that you love so much?
All of them. No, I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I just finished a marathon watching the entire every season of Babylon 5, and I'm back on Star Trek: The Next Generation at the moment.
Good stuff there. So are you a Chris Pine fan as Captain Kirk?
I am. I'm really impressed with the new Star Trek. I even like the new series that they put out. I think they're doing a really good job bringing in the conversations about humanity. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to make some of these tough choices? Which, relates so much to what we do in business and podcasting as well. I think it really is just about that conversation and that connection with people that we have.
Are there any tools that you like to use in your blogging to help you identify or hash out those ideas or topics?
That's a great question. So most of my inspiration for my blog comes from my interaction with clients, and comes from what do I see clients struggling with? What did I struggle with? A lot of it's just what's that conversation and how can I help people solve problems? That's what I'm always looking for, is what's the question? What's the problem? How can I answer it or solve it? And that's where my inspiration comes from.
Is there a good length to any blog? Short, long? Is there a perfect blog length?
So it really depends on what your goal is. People that ask me that all the time, I'm like, as many words as it takes you to say what you need to say and get to the solution that you're trying to share. If you're looking at SEO, then 2,000 words or more really does get you better results for SEO. But if you're just looking for, a lot of us don't use SEO as much as we use social promotions and social media and getting people sharing. And then it's really just how many words do you need to share what it is that you want to share. So I tell people, don't focus too much on the word count. Don't focus too much on all of the tactical stuff. Just get it out there and you'll figure it out as you go.
Good point. Let's see here. Elaine says, thank you both Scott and Michelle for validating to podcasts with a visual added impact of live streaming or YouTube.
Yeah, it was interesting to me because when I started it, I didn't even really think about just doing audio, because I know my community loves video. They like to see that visual connection. So it was an easy choice for me. And I've been surprised because I get like 100 times the views on YouTube that I do downloads on my podcast.
Well, it's just knowing where your audience is and where they're going to be viewing your content, but then also sharing it on other platforms. I know we get a lot of views on Facebook Live. We also get quite a few downloads. Our videos, while we've been using video more so for the last 5 years, it's actually not as many as actually surprises me. Yeah. But one thing we've been doing a little bit more so an uptick is taking the transcription and throwing it back into the description in the first 4,000.
Absolutely. The cool thing, one of the things that I love about my podcast is it gives me a way to create content that then gives you something to share everywhere else. It's so much easier than, the traditional written content marketing that I learned and used to grow my business. Podcasting blows it out of the water. And part of it is you got the video, you can do the audio, you can transcribe it, you can put it out there everywhere.
What's the biggest hurdle that you deal with when working with new entrepreneurs? What kind of mind blocks do new entrepreneurs have when you're working with them?
Oh, that's a great question. So, I think there's a lot that come up specifically with my audience. It's generally a combination of, I think, that who am I to go do this? And then all of but there's so much to learn. And people get stuck in both of those where they're thinking, well, I'm not big enough, I'm not ready, I'm not whatever enough yet. And that's one that I really, we speak to a lot on my show and in what I do is that idea of you are ready. If not right now, then when are you going to do it? And really just helping people get past that fear of starting and really getting out there with what they've got. And then at the same time, all of the stuff that feels like you've got to learn, because when you go into business by yourself, or for yourself, I should say, it's not just what you're good at, right? You don't get to just provide a service or just coach or just design things or whatever. You're suddenly the chief technical officer, the marketing person, everything. And so one of the things that I try to remind my audience a lot of is, yes, you're in business for yourself, but you never have to be in business by yourself. So don't feel like you have to learn it all. Find the people who can support you and help you, and let them be there for you and help you grow that business. And know that you've made it this far. You have a 100% success rate in life so far because every day you've gotten back up and kept going. You're not going to fail at this as long as you're determined to make it work.
That's such great advice. Just getting over, and I think that's what's so beautiful about the podcasting community more so than a lot of the individual stuff, especially the different niches that I'm in real estate. I think the podcasting side is so much more friendly, so much more giving of knowledge and sharing resources. And hey, don't make this mistake. Here's what I did to overcome that, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I was watching your interview with Gail a little bit earlier, and you guys were talking about that, like, competitive sabotage thing that sometimes goes on. And that's my favorite thing about podcasting is the community around it is absolutely amazing in terms of collaboration and sharing resources, and just they want to support each other. And I love that because I really believe it's a model that works. We don't have to necessarily look at everybody as competition. I don't look at things that way. I refuse to. I see it as we're all in this together. We can all succeed together if that's what we actually want.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of market share for everybody out here. So what's next for Michelle? I know you've got some big goals for next year, but what's your 5-year plan for the art of giving a damn?
Oh, I like that. I like that question. You know, I think really the reason I started this show, and I know it sounds crazy to say things like this out loud, is but I really want to be a part of shifting the conversation for people around business and continuing to support the idea that you can do something that matters. You can do something that makes a positive difference for yourself, for your family, for your clients, for the planet. And it doesn't have to be about just bottom line numbers. You really can succeed doing what you're here to do. One of my favorite quotes is that you should go do whatever sets you on fire, lights you up, because what the world needs is more people who've come alive. And I really believe that when we find what brings us to life, that's when we're doing what we're here to do, and that's when things work. That's when the business works. That's when our clients get results. That's when we have this amazing domino effect of positivity in the world. And that's really what the show is for me, is my way of encouraging people to get out there with what they care about and just go for it. Don't worry so much about what somebody else might think or say, or about whether somebody else says it's a viable idea. Just get out there with it. You will figure it out. Do what you're here to do. And as long as I can be part of helping push over that first domino for somebody and they go on and have positive effect in the world, then I think that's what I really want to do with the show. That's my mission for it, is just prove to people you can care, you can give a damn, and you can make a positive difference. So don't ever let anybody talk you out of that. Don't ever let anybody convince you that you have to do business a certain way. You don't. You can do it your way, and you can succeed with it.
Love it. What's the best way for Phoebe says on here, great stuff, Michelle Shaeffer. She's getting some love out there. It's great stuff. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, to going through the show or list they're going? How do they the best way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So you can find me at michelleshaeffer.com or theartofgivingadamn.com. You can find me either place, and there's a freebie on the site. If the idea of collaborative marketing and building together appeals to you, you can check it out at theartofgivingadamn.com/41. You'll find a free PDF that'll show you 41 different ways that you can build together with other people and get your message out there faster by leveraging people's audiences that are already gathered together waiting to hear you.
Love it, love it, love it. Definitely. Michelle, thank you so much for being a part of International Podcast Day. Look forward to working with you more in the future. Everybody, check it out, The Art of Giving a Damn. Like I said, check out her website. Michelle's great at what she does, and you definitely want to add her to your Rolodex of experts to help you with things. So thanks so much, Michelle.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Scott. Enjoy the rest of the marathon interview.
Bye, Michelle.
Yay!
There's our next one. All right, awesome. Good stuff, Michelle. All right, give me 1 second here, Beth. Good to see you here. All right, 1 second here.
I'm cash for Sunday.
Hey, it's quite all right. Great stuff. Good stuff. Hang on.